River was a very vibrant waterway in Australia. It has been used as a river transport long time ago. Wooden paddle steamers been the main mode of transport in here. So a lot of supplies was coming from Victoria by train to Echuca, and from Echuca to here they used to send by boat like river steamers. And a lot of logs like wood and other things goes to Victoria, Echuca from here to there by the river. So river was a very important mode of transportation at the time.
So why it has gone so down and become dry? What is the reason behind it?
Because of the global warming is one thing. Australia is the driest continent in the world except the Antarctica, because Antarctica doesn't have any rainfall. But Australia has got rainfall which is averaged 450 millimeter per year. So historically Australia is always a drought prone country and it has always been dry. But Murray River lost its health because of over water use and over regulation. When you regulate a river, as I mentioned before, when you regulate a river, the velocity of the river actually reduces. When it reduces, that means it will be prone to sedimentation. And when it's prone to sedimentation, then it will be a slow dying process.
So do you think that river should have the liberty to flow in their own way?
Of course. The human should always, or not should not intervene in a way that the health of the river is impacted. Any project regarding the using of river water, including hydroelectric project or any other irrigation project, we have to be very mindful of the health of the river first and then think about the feasibility of the project for human benefit.
So what action you are taking now to have a healthy river and healthy environment here?
The Commonwealth government in Australia now is quite aware of the health of the river, but it's too late because 200 years of irrigation and regulation of the river actually made it almost dead. So now the government is actually giving fund to buy back the water from the farmers, so the water can be kept in the river system to flow and keep its health and the ecology sustainable for longer.
That's very interesting, Yeah. Very interesting. So people has to act, government has to act. As you said, they have done a lot of wrong things. So there is some scope to bring back the same situation or improve it?
It will be very difficult to bring back the original natural state of the river because the damage is done is very extensive and over a long period of time. So the human lifetime is very short. It might come back in the original state maybe again in hundreds of years time if been done all the positive things for the river and if there is a climatic change. But otherwise it will be a very difficult thing to see in our lifetime that river is reinstated to its old natural state. But what we can say that similar situation happened in even Romania during the time of Nicolae Ceausescu. They have actually dry out the wetlands and the lakes of Romanian lakes to grow more agricultural products. But eventually they killed the economy of that, killed the ecology of that area. But later, when the fall of Romania, Ceausescu, the World Bank actually given a lot of fund, and they have reinstated the whole lake to its own state, where all the ecosystem and the flora and fauna actually reappeared in their way. So it is not really that pessimistic. If you can do the right thing, you will be able to make positive improvement on the health of the river. This is for sure.
Okay, so what do you think about Bangladesh? Do you think that we are doing the right thing, or what is the situation?
Bangladesh, I think the biggest problem is that we don't use any surface water. Our surface water use is minuscule with regards to our groundwater. We are heavily dependent on our groundwater for irrigation to grow the high yield variety rice crops. And all the shallow bores in northern part, southern part, eastern part of the country is pumping the shallow water table. And by doing that, what they have done, they have introduced oxygen into the shallow aquifer, by which they release the arsenic into the groundwater. At the same time, they are actually lowering the water level. and a desertification process is already on in Barendra project in Rajshahi area, where because there is not much enough groundwater resource in the shallow aquifer, so they basically draw the water level down, which actually in terms draw the Vedos zone or capillary fringe, where the water actually gets intake from the groundwater level, from where in actually the vegetation community, like the trees, get their water. So if you dry up the Vedos zone, by lowering the water level, eventually you will kill all the trees around there. So I'm really very alarmed with the situation in Barendra Elaka. I think in the Barendra area there should be massive investment to monitor the water level and the quality, and do some groundwater modeling to see how it is going. But with regards to surface water, I think we should now thinking of harnessing all the surface water we just drain into the Bay of Bengal. That trillions of cubic or gigaliter of water has to be used inland for our irrigation, which will keep our groundwater reserve intact for in future. If this river dies out, still we have the groundwater resources with us, so that will sustain us for the coming centuries. So we have to think about using our surface water a lot.
Well, that's great actually. The word I have heard here is harvesting water. Yeah. I mean, the word is very interesting. I haven't thought about it either. You have to go for harvesting water, either from the rainwater or anywhere, So very interesting actually. This has to be looked after, and we don't want to. It's 160 million people. Australia has a very less population here, and still they are worried, they are anxious, they are taking a lot of actions. But we have 160 million people, and water is a big issue. So Bangladesh has to take action as soon as possible. No bloody government will exist if people are deprived, if people cannot save. So it's time to act, and please do your job to advise our concerned people. So different.
Bangladesh's biggest threat for the pollution in Bangladesh river waters is the industrial waste. I think Bangladesh is a third world country, and it's a developing country, and it's growing very quickly. And they need their industries, they need their people employed, they need their annual GDP growth in double digits for future prosperity. But again, not at the expense of the killing our ecosystem and our rivers and our aquatic and other biota. So what the government should do, they should have strict compliance and management rule about the industrial waste, the effluent coming from all the dyeing industry, which is a backup industry for the garments. So those dyeing industry water has to be tertiarily treated to release them into the natural river system. If you go to the Shitalakha in Kachpur and Narayanganj, you can see the water is all colored, coming from all the dyeing industries along the bank of the river Shaktu Shitalakha. This is killing the system. So, and the dyeing chemical has got a lot of carcinogens and a lot of harmful chemicals, which actually kills the aquatic ecosystem, the animals and the plants in the water. So one day you will find that the place of fish and rice will be coming. You will only get the fish. You will only get the rice, but no fish, because all will be dead.
So you think that there could be a practical approach to it, diversified, so we can save our ecosystem as well as build our industry. Do you think so?
Yeah, I think the first thing is that